Hello, beautiful people. It's your boy Pac, the 21-year-old wrestling fanatic who lives and breathes WWE. Today, we are diving headfirst into the 14th March SmackDown's episode from Barcelona. And trust me, this one had more twist than M. Night Shyamalan movie. So grab your popcorn because we are about to break it down. So, let's do it. Alright, first off, can we talk about how absolutely goated the Barcelona crowd was? These fans were louder than a Taylor Swift concert during Eras tour. Their energy was off the charts, chanting, singing, and making even the most boring segments somewhat tolerable. WWE needs to take notes. Europe knows how to bring the heat. Alright, now let's get into Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Braun Strowman segment. Look, I love this bloodline drama as much as anyone else, but this felt like a soap opera that's been running for too long. Solo calling Jimmy a family failure? Ouch! That's harsher than Simon Cowell on American Idol. But hey, Braun smashing through barricades, that's always a win. Okay, WWE gave us a 6-man tag team match featuring Braun Strowman, LA Knight, and Jimmy Uso against the Bloodline. And let me tell you, it was a solid goal. Braun doing his fried train around the ring, chef's kiss. But seriously, can someone check on LA Knight? That man is carrying charisma like he's the Dwayne Johnson of this generation. But Solo's team losing again makes them look weaker than a dollar's paper towel. The Bloodline needs to start racking up or they're gonna end up as irrelevant as a blockbuster video store in 2025. Still, the post-match brawl where Solo blindside Braun was a nice touch, like the cliffhanger at the end of a Marvel movie, leaving you hyped for the next chapter. Okay, let's talk about Charlotte Flair and Tiffany's brawl. How did Tiffany even find the top of Tron to jump off with that swanton bomb? This woman must have a GPS for chaos because she turned this arena into her personal jungle gym. This brawl was wild. But the fact that I spilled into Miss TV and derailed Cody's segment, it's like when you're waiting for the main event at the concert but opening act won't get off the stage. I get it, they are building to WrestleMania, but give us a breather, WWE. That said, the brawl itself, absolute fire. Charlotte and Tiffany were throwing hands like they were auditioning for a Rocky movie, and the crowd eating it up with "This is awesome" chants was cherry on the top. Security failing to stop them was a comedy gold, like watching male cops trying to break up Black Friday stampede. This was one of the night's highlights. Next up, Drew McIntyre's pre-tape promo was like villain's monologue in Christopher Nolan movie. Dark, intense, and dripping with purpose, promising to put Damian Priest down for good was some straight up Bane energy, and I'm here for it. Then in a match between Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura, Drew's interference was pure revenge, attacking Priest after Nakamura's Kinshasa and using steel steps as a weapon. That was some next level heel work, like Walter White bent full Heisenberg in Breaking Bad. This feud feels personal. This is one of the best storylines on SmackDown right now. Now let's talk about our man Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes on Miss TV was supposed to be the big moment, but it turned into a comedy skit faster than you can say Saturday Night Live. The Miss cutting off Cody's entrance song was like a Karen asking to speak to the manager, and Cody popping him in the mouth and hitting a crossroads, iconic. This aggressive Cody is giving me that John Wick vibe. Don't mess with his dog, or in this case his entrance music. His call out to John was electric, but the Barcelona crowd not getting the face-to-face they wanted. They're like going to dinner and finding out they are out of fries. Major letdown. Next, Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes was a masterclass in storytelling. Orton dominating early, slamming Hayes onto the announce desk was like watching a lion toy with its prey. And when Kevin Owens pulled Hayes out of the ring to save him from a punt kick, Orton's smirk said it all. He loved every second of the chaos. This is like watching a classic 90s action movie where the hero just enjoyed being the bad guy for a hot minute. But Kevin Owens running away through the crowd, come on man, commit to the fight. Next, the Street Profits winning the tag team titles from DIY was the feel-good moment we needed. Montez Ford's splash from the heaven was like watching LeBron James dunk from the free throw line, jaw-dropping. Angelo Dawkins tagging in at the perfect moment was like ultimate hype man move. This heel turn was rejuvenated the Prophet, and the teams like Pretty Deadly and Legado del Fantasma lurking. This tag team division is hotter than the 4th of July barbecue. But DIY accidentally costing themselves that match with that botched move. Oof, that's the plot twist dumber than the ending of the Emoji Movie. So here's my final rating for this SmackDown. 8 out of 10. The good overweighed the bad thanks to that electric crowd and some killer matches, but WWE really needs to cut down on those filler segments. That's it for today's review. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button harder than Braun smashes the barricades. Don't forget to subscribe to Frogsnox for more wrestling content. Until next time, stay awesome, have a good day, bye.